second anniversary, the Honorable Lord Hrodebert von dem Kämpfenhase. And once again joining us, a live performance by Her Ladyship Juliana Laverick from the Kingdom of Antir. Me, I'm your announcer, Master Bjorn of the Northern Sea. And here's your host, Master Laertes McBride.
I'd see, but I didn't say very much before I realized I was still muted. So, hey, everyone. How you doing? It is warm, isn't it? Holy moly. For those of you not here on the West Coast, Southern California, it was like almost 100 today. It's just June. So, yeah, take care of yourself, hydrate, and for those going to practice tonight, fight in the shade. A couple of little things before I get Bjorn out here. First off, the Caid Kingdom Seneschal has put out a survey of the populace to get your opinion on little different things, kingdom calendar, events, etc. Look at the Facebook group page. It's posted there. I know several of the baronies have also reposted that. Take about 10 minutes to do the survey. There's plenty of places where you can write in your own comments, which is awesome for me. So be sure to get that done. We're going to be talking about the upcoming event this Saturday, so we'll wait for that. And then in July, of course, the 10th of July will be coronation in the barony of Wintermist. The 28th will be Queen's Champion ranged weapons in the barony of Altavia. And then, of course, on July 24th will be Queen's Champion martial forms in the barony of Gildenholt. So that's pretty exciting. We're moving right along. Speaking of moving right along, let's go ahead and get Bjorn out here. And he'll be here right now. Hey, Bjorn.
Hello, Laertes.
If it's hot here, I know it's got to be hot where you're
at. Larger people, some enjoy very hot weather, and most of us find it thoroughly uncomfortable. And I am thoroughly uncomf at this point, definitely.
You have now learned all the places you can sweat. Speaking of sweating, what websites do you have for us today?
Well, I'm glad you sweat me for the answer to that. So what we have for you, ladies and gentlemen, is now that we're into the full swing of summer, I wanted to show some stuff that last year, when people were pretty much sequestered in their homes, they dreamt of going to the Getty or going to the Huntington for those people on the West Coast, Hearst Castle, a bunch of places with wonderful art. And many of these museums worked very hard to make sure that they could put as much of their collections online for us to view virtually. But they weren't just sitting there taking digital pictures. Many museums that had the funding, at any rate, were trying to do a lot of renovations to their spaces while they had the ability, since there was much less foot traffic. One of those is, of course, the great Metropolitan Museum of Art. And there is, for us, a YouTube video that talks about what they have done for their European Masters exhibit. Now, they talk about the main thing they wanted to do was completely redo all of the skylights. They wanted to make sure that they have natural light so that these wonderful paintings and gold ground drawings and things could be seen in the light as it was intended. But they also had to make sure that the glass was protective so that the tinctures wouldn't be damaged in any way. Some of these were, of course, not just on canvas, but also especially the medieval and Renaissance stuff, the altarpieces, those things were painted on wood. And they wanted to make sure that they took as good a care as possible, but they wanted to allow people to see just what they look like in natural light. And while I will admit this particular video is only about half talking about things from our era, because of course it also talks about the German masters, the Dutch painters, and those sorts of things. But in particular, it talks about a lot of how many of these, as I'd said before, the gold ground paintings, the altar pieces, what that gold leaf looks like in sunlight is stunning, and just something that I'm glad we get a chance to see out here if we can't go to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. In particular, there's an altarpiece by Giovanni de Paolo from the 15th century that is just phenomenal, and they spend a little time talking about that. So that's the first website. Now, the second is more of a digital offering than anything else, and it once again comes to us from academia.edu. Now, once again, this is a website that we've talked about before because of the access to PDF files of the writings of these authors. This one was actually first posted in the West Coast Culinary Symposium, but I wanted to go a little bit further. This one is Food and Drink in Medieval and Renaissance Europe, an overview of the past decade. And what it talks about mostly is it goes into detail about what have we done, what have we found, what ways has the most modern cutting-edge archaeology been able to do to see more about the food and drink of the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. In particular, they talk about works by Massimo Montanari, who is a professor at the University of Bologna, and he's a scholar in food studies. They have the wondrous late, great Jean-Louis Flandrin, some of his writings, and they translated most of his works, which of course were in French, to English, so people would get a chance to see all of the wonderful things he talked about. Courses, why food was presented the way it was, and in particular, the University of Southampton's Dr. Chris Woolger, and he's a professor emeritus for history and archival studies at the British Academy, and what food was for people other than the rich folks, or I guess they call it polemic dining, and it was fantastic. But I must say that even though it's about a 16-page article, it really is only 8 pages, because the other bottom half of every single page is footnotes, and it is fantastic because of all the information that you find out. But I wanted to learn a little bit more. So the author, Professor Grieco, who's a emeritus researcher at Harvard Center for Renaissance Studies, I asked him, I'm a living history enthusiast, and I was wondering if you could tell me more about this and that. And he was wonderful. He actually responded back. That's another thing about Academia EDU. You have a chance to actually contact the authors of some of these writings. And he was very forthcoming about giving me information about what he considered the very lively field of cookbooks, which, as someone who likes to redact and look at the recipes of earlier times, I thought that was fantastic. So he got me in touch with what they call Korema, which is the cooking recipes of the Middle Ages. It is a group that talks about analysis, visualization, and reproduction of recipes from the 12th to the 17th centuries. And just by having a brief conversation with someone who, I mean, I'm sure he was exceptionally busy, but he took the time out of his busy schedule to talk to me, just some guy, because I posed a relatively intelligent couple of questions. And that's the wonderful thing about Academia EDU. He took the time to talk to me about the findings that have been all over the place within the last 10 years or so. And we benefit for that in the SCA. Those of us who enjoy working on period food, the information that was just in that bibliographic article can send you down rabbit holes in any number of directions. So I was extremely pleased to talk to Professor Grieco, and I was thankful for his time, and I'm thankful for your time, and I'm glad that I got a chance to show you those digital offerings for this week.
Well, that sounds very nice. Do you find it funny? There's a food studies in the town of Bologna. But no, really, what I was going to, it'd be great if they had like an expert named Oscar. And I was going to say on the display of a new look at old masters, I hope we can all go there for the display of Bruce Draconarius, because that'll be nice. I'd like a new look at. Anyway.
No doubt he is also gold ground.
That I would give him that. Who do we have on? Well, before we get to that, so as we've talked about last week, in a week and a half ago, the Kingdom opened back up for events and practices and gatherings and such. I had the opportunity to rush out at the end of the show last week and finish the show live from the Altavian practice. But we've been talking a lot about Coronation and Queen's Champions being our first event, but lo and behold, Carreg win anniversary is going to be our actual first event, and that's why we're going to have this gentleman coming up to tell us what it's going to be like and what to expect on the first event, especially under the stricter COVID guidance that we have for the month of June. So who do we have coming up?
We have His Lordship Hrodebert, and he is the steward for the Carreg anniversary. And like you said, he's going to be letting us know what at the Caid level we're going to be doing with these restrictions and how we're going to still be able to be with each other at an event.
Cool. Well, let's bring him on. He's been patiently waiting, and he'll be here right about now. Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's great. I like your choice in tunic, so I salute you. It's a little warm, but it's warm down here. But it's not where you are. What's it like today?
Today was a balmy mid-70s.
Right. And so
by our standards.
Right, and the event site for this Saturday for Carreg Win anniversary is coastal also, right? So
yes.
We're going to be cooking in the hundreds down here. What's this forecast up that way?
I'm sorry, Larities, but you've frozen.
Oh, I'm not frozen right now. I'm sweating. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, sorry about that. Now my question was, we're going to be in the hundreds down here. What's it going to be like up your way for the event on Saturday?
Well, the Wizards. That's a hard one. Wasn't as hard in my head. But the Weather Wizards have conjured a nice 76, sunny. So do bring your sunscreen and plenty of hydration.
Great. And for people that may be watching out of Kingdom, where exactly is Carreg Win located?
You probably know of Santa Barbara. Carreg Win is northwest of there on the part of the map where California kind of sticks out.
Oh, that little loopy.
A little bump of Point Conception.
Oh, okay. So it's gorgeous up there. I've been there before. So let's talk about this. When did y'all decide to launch this as a real live in-person event?
Well, we really decided last year when we were setting out our calendar and looking at, well, things are going to be opening June 1st. I'm sorry. I'm getting confused. It's been a long day. But June 1st, and they were talking about having in-person events again. And our anniversary is typically very sparsely attended. So we thought, yeah, we can pull off a little event and fly under the radar and not many people will notice. And lo and behold, people have noticed.
Yeah, it's almost like you're the first event back and people have been pent up for over a year.
It's kind of frightening, actually. It's been a blizzard of molasses. We couldn't get a site for the longest time because we were under red COVID tier restriction in California, in our county. And I kept calling and getting no answer from city on park sites. And then all of a sudden, oh, yes, well, parks are already filling up and we have this one, so we got it. And then we went on calendar and their Royal Majesties decided to attend. And that, as every autocrat knows, is just adds a whole nother dimension to your event planning. And so it's been pretty crazy.
Right. Yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the royals are planning on being there with their entourage. So that'll be pretty exciting. That'll be their first real in-person event too,
Yeah.
as their majesties. So, and I think, if I remember right, they only got one event as their highnesses, and that was a crown. So it's a good day. Now, as we kind of mentioned before we brought you on, we're still under the little bit higher restrictions from the SCA for the month of June. So people coming to your event, what should they expect? Or what do they need a pre-reg, all that kind of stuff?
Yes, we will be abiding by the stricter restrictions of the kingdom. So pre-registration is required. There is a link on the kingdom calendar for that pre-registration, and we do not only encourage but demand you fill it out if you plan to attend. If you don't pre-register and you drive 2 to 3 hours, I hope you had a really nice drive, because your arguments are going to fall on ears of stone. Thank you. And we are also planning to enforce the masking during all events, except while actively eating or drinking. So, and I know that will be unpopular, but unless I get notice from the Kingdom Seneschal that that has been changed, I will not accept excuses.
Right, because we're under guidance, not from society, for the month of June, and variances have to be given in order to go away from what we have in place for June. So I know there's a lot of challenges. So you mentioned wearing masks. So wearing masks not only when hanging out under your own pavilions or such, but also when you're gonna have a rapier and an armored combat list. So you need to wear your mask while you're fighting, unless you can. Well, what if I'm eating while fighting? Could I? No, that probably wouldn't work. Be a little messy.
That would be messy.
Yeah. So you need to have your mask on at all times. Can you, like communal pavilions, like a baronial pavilion, can people from different households hang out under the same pavilion by their choice? Is there any type of guidance on that? I don't remember.
We are still practicing the 6-foot social distancing rule.
Right.
Pavilions are open to the air. So just as a restaurant pavilion is allowing people to sit near each other beyond 6 feet, yes, people can hang out in a baronial pavilion. I will not be checking to see who's with whose household, but do expect to pay attention to the rules.
Right, and as it comes to food and drinks, it's basically BYOB, right? You got to bring everything of your own, all that.
Yeah, we are not even allowed to provide their majesties with lunch. So yes, bring your own food and beverage. Do bring water, as it will be sunny and warm. I don't believe there are any drinking fountains that are open within walking distance of the site.
Right.
So we are expecting to bring a flat of water bottles. We can provide water bottles, sealed. Do not share those unless you do so at your own risk.
Right. Surprisingly not. Aaron Darkhelm's asking, is it a dry site as far as alcohol?
Yes, it is a dry site. So no, you can't bring your brew, Aaron. I'm sorry.
So my question is, does Uber Eats or DoorDash deliver to the site? Because there's your lunch. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's a possibility.
There you go. Always thinking. So let's talk about court, because I've seen some live streams from some other kingdoms that have had their events, including I think Onstiori just had their Queen's Champion this past Saturday. And for their courts, they're a little bit more spaced out, or are you encouraging people, kind of like you're talking about under pavilions, when they're seated in court, not to kind of bunch up as much as to maintain that social distancing still, since we're under the title restriction?
Yes. do pay attention to the 6-foot rule. Now, obviously, people within your own household can congregate in a bunch, but a little separated from the other bunches.
Right. Okay. So is there anything else that we should highlight to people that are oh, well, you know what? What's the site fee? I haven't even looked.
The site fee is $10 for non-members with the $5 member discount. So it's not terribly expensive. We are not planning on requiring prepayment with your pre-registration. We will be taking money at site. I thought $5 is kind of ridiculous to incur a charge fee on. So yes,
Okay.
we will be at site on payment.
And there's been talk about taking electronic payments at events. Will y'all be doing that? Or is that, I don't know if that's in place yet or not.
We do not have that in place. I think if we scrambled within this week, it might be possible to do Square, but it will be very hard.
Well, I mean, and I'm getting ready to turn this over to Bjorn because now I am out of questions. But I just want to say, I mean, I know it's challenging enough to put an event together. I mean, it really is, especially an anniversary event. Working around so that people that want to get out, see their friends, fight, practice their martial art, along with addressing the state and local and kingdom and society level restrictions that are currently in place must be a big challenge. And I would hope for those that are able to attend, you understand there's a lot that needs to be done. There's a lot on hand that needs to be addressed, and everyone is doing their best. And I know for sure you are. We've known each other quite a while. So I would just like to put that out there for anyone that is planning on attending, because you should if you could. Just a little patience, a little understanding. It's new to everyone. It may be the familiar feel of your friends, but it's a new process, right?
Just be in mind of the knightly virtue of courtesy. Be courteous to those who, for whatever reason, cannot vaccinate and are therefore at greater risk. Be courteous to the poor gate steward that is trying to process money and look down the list to see who's registered and who's not. We will try to make that as expedient as possible, but we're on the bleeding edge, not just the cutting edge. We're going to be bleeding as we deal with the new restrictions, etc., and the new normal.
Right. Well, you know, on that point, not a great transition for me, but I'm going to go ahead and bring Bjorn in, and I'll be back in a little bit.
Thank you again, Your Lordship, for taking the time to talk with us today. Now, so this is Carrig's anniversary, and first off, just for the folks at home or as people that may not be in Caid, what is the Shire of Carreg? What is Carreg?
What is Carreg? It's a sleepy coastal community. The words Carreg are Gaelic for white rock. For those that don't know, most of the filtration for brewing, water purification is done through diatomaceous earth, which is mined in the local hills.
Thank you very much. I actually did know that, but you know, it is your home. Now, mundanely, this is the city of Lompoc, correct?
Lompoc.
Once again, I am in Southern California, not in the center, so it's always good to learn new things.
You are.
So I know that you'll be having heavy combat and rapier combat, and I believe I was reading in the anniversary write-up itself that there is going to be crafts for non-fighters.
Yes.
And could you just let our folks at home know what some of those might be?
Those will be, Our Lady Ursula is preparing tiles for doing illuminated letters, so you can do your initials. And I have not seen the details on that, so I cannot elaborate. But they are, I believe, about 4 or 6 inches square. And I'm not sure if they're porcelain or wood. I believe they're wood. I could be incorrect. And it will be painted.
Thank you. So, by my research, the Carreg has been around since 1984. So, do you have any plans in a couple of years for one of the aught anniversaries? Or are you guys just happy that you have an anniversary this year?
We're happy to have survived the plague and are just celebrating a year after that.
Well, I am more than happy to hear that, and I figured as much. Just there are so many folks that have been event stewards of the past that always look to the future, look to the 5s or the the 10s, the 20s, the 30s for anniversaries, and I was curious to ask because I kind of figured it would just be, let's just see how 2021 treats us first, and so thank you for fielding and entertaining that silly question. I greatly appreciate it. The last
Thank you
question
for putting that thought into our heads. We will.
It's I wouldn't say it's never too early. I mean, for a founding group to plan their 50th, probably not. But just to look at things. So the last thing I wanted to talk about is that what would you like to see the Shire be able to recapture most quickly? What aspects of Shire existence for Carreg in Caid are you really looking forward to seeing coming back first?
From this event, I am most looking forward to the ability to see old friends and make new ones, and just the camaraderie and all of the love and fellowship in the SCA.
Thank you so much, Your Lordship. I greatly appreciate it. And I wish you the absolute best of success for this, the fledgling foray into the new SCA. And I wish you and all of the people that will be working so hard to put the event on for your Shire the absolute best of success and luck.
And thank you for the honor and privilege of being your guest.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, the nice stuff's done. So now it's time for our little game. And I know everyone looks forward to this. I can see Juliana. She's waving because she's excited about it. She needs to be an interview guest sometime, so she has to do this. All right, so Bjorn, what is the name of the game this week?
His Lordship's game today is Flour and Chocolates.
That's right. So it's your Shire's anniversary, right? And for most times when anniversaries, you use flowers and chocolate, right? But there's a list for anniversaries on what categories of type gifts you should give depending on what year the anniversary is. So, for example, it's the 37th anniversary of Carreg. So the closest one would be the 35th. So you should have a jade type of gift for your Shire. So see, so what we're going to play is I'm going to name the year the anniversary would be, and you're going to tell me whether true or false the category of gift that I'm saying is what is recommended by tradition. So are we good with this? It sounds much more complicated, and I explained it poorly, but it's fine. Okay, so for the first year anniversary, is it recommended you get a gift made out of paper? True or false?
True.
It is, because I guess you've made it a year. Here's a dollar bill. Well, that's really linen, but no, that's true. Let's see. For your 6th year anniversary in the U.S., is it recommended you get something made out of iron?
No.
I'm sorry, it is.
It is.
So for 6th anniversary, I guess a nice iron ingot would be nice for your significant other. I know my wife would have thrown it at me if I got her something iron.
Well, never mind.
So 8th year is one of the recommended categories. Salt for your 8th anniversary. True or false?
I'll go with true.
It is true if you're in the UK. So
All right.
I can imagine giving someone a thing of Morton's. Hey, honey, happy anniversary. Here is a pound of salt. And she could probably...
No, you come up with salted caramel.
Oh, that's true. You know, Lot got his wife salt. Oh, different one. 17th anniversary. Is it a puppy?
No.
No, you're right. Well, but you should know this one. The 17th anniversary is furniture.
Good.
Well, there you go. For those who don't know, you make furniture, correct?
Yes, I do.
So you should put a sign out. Is it your 17th anniversary?
Okay.
Here.
I'll keep that in mind.
I'll take that under consideration. You don't know how many times I said that as Baron. Let's see.
Yes, I do.
Well, let's see. One more. For your... I need something more fun than that because that was boring. Oh, here. 12th anniversary. 12th anniversary. Is it home decor?
Well, 17th would be furniture, which is a part of home decor. So I'm going to go with no.
No, you are incorrect. I guessed drapes or throw pillows for your 12th anniversary.
Okay.
And I think
thrown at you. That would.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think throw is the key word in that description. Yeah, so that was kind of fun. I learned.
The disembodied voice would like to inform you that the 37th anniversary gift is usually considered to be books.
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 Okay.
Again, something your significant other could throw at you if they don't like it. So, you know, Juliana's nodding as if, yes, I would throw that if someone gave me. Yeah. Anyway, well, I would.
People would absolutely love it.
That's true. You know what? It would be a very novel gift. But what I want to do is say thank you for your time. Thank you for coming in and talking about your event. Hopefully you will get an amazing turnout of people being there, being able to share some time with their friends they haven't seen in a while. I know it's a lot of work, and it must be an extra amount of work for the challenges that you have. So thank you so much for coming in this evening and talking to us about it. Unfortunately, I cannot attend. I will be out of state at that time. But I'm sure people will have a good time even without me being there. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you for your consideration, and may you have safe and enjoyable travels.
Well, thank you too. Best of luck. It was good to see you. We'll see you the next time our paths cross. Have a great evening. I'll see you later.
Good night.
That was great.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now, where did you find it says 37th anniversary books? You looked it up?
Well, you just go to hallmark.com.
Oh, well, see, I was on a different site, and they had 35th and 40th. So.
If you're figuring a gift-giving organization where they're going to have you, spend money to buy something, I think they'd probably have, oh, no, you need, this is the year that you need macrame or whatever. They're going to come up with something because they want to sell you something. So I figured,
I'm sure if the modern 37th year anniversary gift was a book, in period, you would probably give your significant other a page. So
if a period wedding was if a period marriage was to last 37 years, they are already gifted. So,
that's true. All right. Well, I've done enough puns. So who do we have coming up next?
Well, we are very fortunate to once again have an amazing performer from the Kingdom of Antir. Her Ladyship, Juliana Laverick, will be joining us tonight.
Well, great. Let's bring her on. Enough of our shenanigans. So she'll be here right about now. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing fabulously, and how are you?
Good. It's good to see you again. Either you've gotten very large since last time we spoke, or that's a ukulele.
That's probably a ukulele.
Oh, okay, good. Whew, I was a little worried. It's been a bit since you've been here. So where are you joining us from? What
I am from the Barony of Sigurt in the Principality of Thierry in the Kingdom of Antir.
Okay, and let's pretend I don't know exactly where that's at, and just describe where it'd be in modern reference.
I'm from Victoria, BC, Canada.
Nice.
Yes.
So,
and if you're wondering, it's going to be 73 degrees this week.
Is that Celsius? Because, oh my God, run.
In Fahrenheit. I Googled it before this. I Googled a couple things.
Okay.
Yes.
So I was going to say 73 Celsius. Wow. I'm actually going to be kind of up that way. So I hope to see some moose. Anyway, so, hey, what can you say significant other than being stuck at home has happened since we last saw you? Is there any news you want to share?
Well, I entered the Bardic War and had an amazing time. I also entered our current war, so Victoria versus the barony beside us, Vancouver, BC, or Lionsgate. We have a war every year, and we've been doing Zoom wars. And I didn't win anything or help win. I tried, but I didn't win anything in the Bardic War. But I did manage to win every single Bardic point for the war between Lionsgate and Sigurt.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so it's been very fun. I also recorded most of a CD.
Wow.
That's in the makings. Yeah. Wrote 5 new songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're on Antir, right? Antir, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So for Antir, are they opening up this month also, or when are they?
Well, I just listened to Curia, which was yesterday,
Right.
and things are in the making. We're doing a lot of overview, specifically for our principality, because we straddle the border. We've had a lot of more discussion, I think, on what can we do, because we have 2 different countries as well as not just states or provinces. There's so much regulation to be involved, and it would be nice if it opened up, but I don't think it's going to be opening up this month. Maybe by the end of summer there might be something small, but I don't think so.
Huh?
Antir has more things to consider just because we have that border.
Right. Well, when I was talking to their majesties of the East, I was making the recommendation that they could have a tournament. Just find a piece of property that's right on the border, and you just fight across it. And you don't know. They didn't like my idea either. But that's fantastic. What are you going to perform for us tonight?
Well, I am going to do a song. I've been writing a whole bunch of songs, and 2 of the songs I was thinking of performing. One is, you joked about 20 minutes earlier when we were preparing. I promise you I'm not going to sing a 20-minute song, but I thought I would perform a new song I've written, and then it's about 6 minutes, and then jump in with a lighter song for 3 minutes afterwards and fit it all in 10. There's been a huge movement for accepting people with different lifestyles, or whether that's you want to be using a different pronoun, or whether that is someone who might be stuck in a chair. And a lot of people don't know, but I have been in a number of some really interesting accidents in my life. And when I was a kid, I was wheelchaired, and I was told I would never walk again. I was very fortunate to not be stuck in a wheelchair for the rest of my life, but I decided if I was going to write a song for someone who is differently abled, then that would be where my heart lies. So this song is called Tally Ho. It's still working on it. I'd love to share it for you all tonight. It is a little bit melancholy, so I thought I'd follow that up with a nicer, happier song, sweet and short. Okay, this one doesn't require the instrument, and this song is called Tally Ho. I'm the Baron's youngest daughter, his crippled, useless child. My siblings have all proved themselves with might and right and style, and though I've never bested them with sword or script or guile, I have a bow and I'll have you know I've practiced for a while. Well, winter has come early and a chill is in the air. My father indeed to our halfway bear. He's called my brothers hunting dogs, he saddled sister's mare, and offered for the choice reward to hunt the greenwood fair. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho, in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. The castle gathered at the gate to watch the sport and game, while I limped to the stable and took up old Dancer's rein. He'd got me in this mess, though I've only myself to blame. With any luck, we'd save the pride that left me limp and lame. The hunting party headed south, so I had set out southwest. The baying and the horns rung high to wake the beasts at rest. The fox, the hare, the strong black bear, the pheasant in her nest. I had to bring home something, and it had to be the best. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho, in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. A group can only ride as fast as the last man in the line, which meant I found the first tracks, and a chill raced down my spine. Claw marked on bark, birch stripped and worked a clear and recent sign. A dangerous prize, but oh the size, and I must make it mine. I did not stop to wonder why we had a half-bear hold, for the greenwood feeds my people more than wares or seed or gold. And a bear prepared for winter would not be out half as bold. So I was not the only hunter staving off the cold. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho, in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. Old Dancer knew we'd found that bear before my eyes caught sight. He stamped the earth and tossed his head, so I pulled his reins in tight. That horse was smarter than he looked. I set my bow to fight, and in a flash I loosed my first and second and third flights. The sound of wood and flesh, the roaring rumble from the green. She charged, we dodged, her shoulder lodged, two bolts that had struck clean. She reared and reached to swipe me, but she hit where I had been. We traded blows, and I thanked the gods my horse was spry and keen. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho, in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. There is a moment in the fray for foolish fancy thoughts, like how a cripple ever won against such dire odds. But every arrow from my finger found itself a spot. Into the beast, last not least, I had a single shot. Her claws managed to reach me as I brought my bow around. The saddle slipped, my stirrup gone as I stumbled to the ground. I somehow kept my weapon even as I had been downed. Old Dancer screamed in anguish, and my heart broke at the sound. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho, in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. A bear paw slammed down on my leg as I drew my final shaft. But I felt no pain, I felt nothing, and in triumph I just laughed. He drowned before she killed me in her own blood and my staff. I had nothing to my name but a limp leg and my craft. My horse, my friend, and freedom from a chair and walking cane sported claw marks on the leg that matched my own one and the same. It was time I did not have to patch him up through fear and pain. So I blew my horn and prayed my efforts were not all in vain. And the huntsmen cry, Tally-ho in the forest bare, where the leaves are gold. You have one shot, take up your bow. And the huntsmen cry, tally-ho. Yes, the hunting party found me and they loaded up my prize. We made it back to town and there I met my father's eyes. They were shocked, but for the first time in a long time filled with pride. I'd won my place of honor, but I paid a cost too high. Old Dancer taught me how to ride, and when we ran, we soared. He missed a jump one summer that I thought ended my world. Too late I learned that he's worth more than pride or that reward. I'll no more ride with him until I reach that distant shore. Yes, my horse was worth more than the reward. Thank you.
That was incredible. So nice. And I'll let you
Thank
do
you.
your second piece.
Yes, I didn't want to leave everyone in tears. I still tear up after I sing it sometimes. So this is a song I wrote. It's called The Dragon's Bride. It is kind of a riposte to a very dear friend of mine, Colette Letranvier, who wrote an amazing song about a bard who got trapped by a dragon in the woods and managed to escape. And I thought, if I met a dragon with a beautiful voice in the woods who tried to woo me, I might be wooed. So this is a song in honor of her and also a little bit of my husband, because he's kind of an introvert who lives off in the nowhere land and doesn't like to socialize. So this is my song called The Dragon's Bride. You say that you have heard the tales, and rightly so you may. I have one that you will find is newly sung today. I traveled over Orson Peak and through the wind and rain. Stopped at Martha Burry's Inn, and I'll not eat there again. Sometimes when I tread the peak, I'd hear a quiet sound that settled in my wayward ear and followed me around. I am a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings. I left the road to follow fast, a whisper, a suggestion. Through the mountainside I came to ease my song obsession. Heard it in my blood and bones, a thunder in the air. Over jagged rock and stone into a dragon's lair. His scales were sterling silver, tooth and claw striking white. Voice was deep and dulcet as it echoed in the height. Womanling, you've left your fire, what did you think to find? Don't you know I hunger and we feast upon your kind? I am a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings. I answered in an honest truth, it was your voice that called. Through the mountainside I came, I have been clear enthralled. And if I die to hear you sing, my life is better lost. Just one song before I go, it would be worth the cost. The dragon laughed, he settled down, he sang to me a tune. Couldn't help but sing along, it ended far too soon. Would that the mountain had a heart, would that the wind had breath. Stars could hum, the ocean drum, such music light and death. I am a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings. We sang under the pale moonlight, and I bargained for my life. I should stay forever and become a dragon's wife. I settled in the mountainside, an aria at dawn, harmony at brightest day, at dusk an even song. In time I spoke on who I'd been, he shared with me his name. But I, a creature of the air, my voice grew soft and strained. With every day I lived, I lost a little of my soul. So my husband made the choice, the dragon let me go. I am a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings. He gave to me a silver gem bound fast by a silver chain. Said to keep it by my heart, and there it still remains. The light is on the mountainside, a rumble in the clay. My husband sleeps under the sun where a sleeping dragon lay. I hope that you've enjoyed my song, for I'll be leaving soon, off to home and my true love to sing a merry tune. I am a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings. I'm a bard, a wanderlust, and I am meant to sing. Light-footed and lark-hearted, my fingers love the strings.
That was fabulous. Oh my gosh. Oh, let's bring Bjorn in.
Thank you.
Such a voice. Oh my gosh. Oh,
Absolutely. I am so very thankful that you were sharing your gift with us again. Just beautiful work, and congratulations on getting most of the CD done. Having done that kind of thing before, it's more daunting than it sounds. And but your sound was just wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I love hanging out with you guys. It's always a pleasure. And thank you for inviting me back.
all righty. Well, it's a pleasure to see you. And once you complete your CD and such, if you'd like to come back and talk about it, you're more than welcome.
Please do.
Perfect.
All right. Have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your 70 degrees. And we'll hopefully see you again sometime soon. Thank you. Good night.
Bye, guys.
Oh, what a gorgeous voice. Oh, my God. So,
Gorgeous voice. It's a wonderful place. I know they're going through some challenges with the whole, two different countries involved thing, but
Right.
I'm sure they can manage it if things are, and I did my research as well, between 20 and 22 degrees Celsius. So that's, that
I
sounds
was
a lot
really worried.
cooler than 73 degrees Fahrenheit. It just sounds cooler.
I was worried it was like 73 degrees Celsius. Man, it's like your car is melting in the driveway.
Yeah.
So for next week, just so everyone knows, I think I already talked about it. We will not be live next week. Now we will have a something new for the show that we want to feature. So be sure to tune in Monday night at 7, or just go to our YouTube channel afterwards, check it out. And we'll be back the following week featuring an interview with the Kingdom Seneschal and the Kingdom Exchequer as we prepare to get into July, where the restrictions become even less, so we can have a look ahead of what a coronation and the Queen Champion events are going to be like. I'm sure you have some bards that are lined up for us coming down the pipe.
Well, after the Bardic War, when we spoke with the event stewards, and I said, hey, we'd be interested for folks that didn't quite get just enough of that Bardic performance. And she's like, oh, please let me post it on our Facebook page. And a lot of people were like, oh, you mean there's more? So I'm looking forward to talking to those folks and seeing who we can have on the show when we return.
And then looking ahead, we will be bringing in some more different features as we go along and have more events. So you may see us around the tournament field or in court, and come over and say hello. But that's pretty much what I got for this week. You have anything else, Bjorn?
No, I will probably be spending a little bit of time in the West Kingdom in the month of July, and when that is the case, then I'll be doing live via satellite or digitalis, or no, that's a plant. Anyway, you'll still be able to see me, unfortunately, for our audience. So
it sounds like you lost a bet. Well, anyway, so Bjorn, it's great to see you, my friend. I'll see you again in 2 weeks.
Yes.
And everyone else that's watching, be sure to watch us next week. But then the week after that, we will be once again live from Caid.
Happy Father's Day, everyone.
Good night, everyone.